Greetings, everyone. Hi, this is Lumination. I've got a little update for you. This is on a fairly serious tone here. Hold on. Let me just get organized. This little video is coming out around the solstice, the winter solstice up here in the Northern Hemisphere, December 20, 21, 22, roughly, for 2017. This is the channel, Lumination. And we're doing an update. I'll put some notes here in a moment. And it's regarding a particular topic, this little book. It's called Wealth, Money, Finance, Global Restructuring, January 2020 by Lumination. Okay. Now, we have a lot of fun on this channel. And, sometimes things get pretty serious too. And right now, we are at a very serious moment in calendar time for all sorts of reasons. And you can blame it all on the planets if you want, but there are all sorts of synchronistic lineups of planets and energies right now. Excuse me. It's just my decaf. No worries. Right now, roughly right now, we're just coming out of the Sagittarius new moon. Okay, you've probably seen these charts before. They're getting pretty messed up now because we've used them on a few shows, and I've been using them here for my own private readings and my own references. Okay, so this huge cluster is with us right now. This is representing the Sagittarius new moon. So whoever you are, wherever you are in the world, this will affect you some way, somehow, at some part in your life. And we've kind of explained how it works, okay? We're not doing an astrology class right now, but for example, if you are an Aries, this would be happening up here in your 9th house. If you are a, let's have a look. Let's see, if you're a Cancerian, this would be happening in your 6th house, for example. If you're a Libra, this would be happening over here in your 3rd house, and so on. Anyway, it's kind of a big deal astrologically because we have so many planets up here in Sagittarius, and they're all going to be shifting and moving into Capricorn very soon, which brings me to this chart here. Again, you've seen this before, I'm sure, if you're watching the channel. And this is a massive cluster, okay? It's a big warning bell for the whole planet. Basically, it's a massive shake-up reality check that we are entering now, starting with the Capricorn new moon, and we're just getting a hint of it now with the Sagittarius new moon. But a lot of big shifts and changes are going to be happening starting in January 2018. So this is kind of a heads up. And the theme is very much to do with Capricorn. It's very much to do with the energy of Saturn and the other heavyweight, Pluto. So again, same thing here. If you're an Aries, this is going to affect you up in your career sector. If you're a Cancerian, it'll affect you in your one-on-one most important relationships, marriages, business, and so on. Partnerships. Libra, it'll be in your 4th house of home and family, and so on. If you're Capricorn, you're getting it right on. You're getting it right in your face, okay? So I'm just going to put these aside. I just wanted to get you kind of clued in to where we're heading here. This is a little book that was written by yours truly, Illumination, several years ago, when I started getting very deep gut feelings about what's happening on the global scale from my own studies with astrology. And I realized, oh my gosh, we are heading for a monster wave, a tsunami wave of change, okay? And I wrote about it in ways that made sense to myself at the time, mostly to rationalize things for myself. And then I realized, oh, this might as well be published. And so we created this little book. It's called Wealth, Money, Finance, Global Restructuring, January 2020 by Illumination. Now, why are we specifically identifying January 2020? Well, that's the whole point of the book. The whole point of the book is that with the wonderful gift of astrology, we can identify certain trigger points in our lives, like in a private reading or on a global scale. And there is a massive trigger point coming up in January 2020. It's going to affect the whole world, particularly in this department of wealth, money, finance, especially in the structuring of wealth, money, and finance as we know it across the planet. And wouldn't you know, the shifts are already happening. So this was written years ago, literally years ago, and now all of a sudden it's sounding kind of prophetic, and the words are starting to really echo and ring very loud and true, to the point where it's a little bit scary, frankly. And I put just a couple of notes to update at the back. But the key point here is that it's all about protect your money, protect your privacy, protect yourself, and please find a way to understand what money really means to you, okay? And then start taking action, and perhaps bringing this more and more into your own self-awareness for down the road. So when you hit January 2020, you're not going to get clobbered with a baseball bat regarding finances. The basic theme here is the understanding that money is money. Money is something that holds value, okay? Currency is a token, like a ticket that represents money. And a lot of people confuse money with currency. Money with currency. What is it? Which is it? Anyway, it will be very clear once you read this little book. It'll have a little bit more clarity on these matters, and it'll help you understand kind of what's going on behind the scenes. And I don't want to, I'm not going to bother to read the book to you here or anything like that right now, but basically, if you're interested, there is a little paperback available, and you will find the links. We'll figure out how to get the links to you. And actually, let me make a note here. You can get this either in the paperback copy like this, okay, or in the Kindle version. You just go to Amazon, okay, .com, or whichever Amazon it is in your part of the world, .au for India or France or Germany, whatever it is. And you can literally enter in the search bar, wealth, money, finance, or Terra Lumination, this, whatever it is you want to enter, and the title will come up. And then you can choose the paperback or the Kindle copy. So there you go. That's the basics. This is a, I've been dealing with this for several years, but it's coming into common conversation now. And there are a couple of keywords that are starting to become very key buzzwords. Basically things like foreign exchange, currency trading, printing money, deflation, devaluation of currency, and so on. And these are all topics that are addressed in here in layperson's language. You don't have to be a genius banker or anything to understand any of this. It's more about understanding the big picture concepts. Also, in terms of like how to handle the global restructuring, there's a hint about what we can do to protect ourselves. And another common buzzword that's happening right now, so that for people who are really seriously curious about this stuff, I'm not a proponent of any of this stuff, but this is going to happen. It's inevitable because there are some very massive players engaged in what amounts to global warfare, Third World War III, that is being conducted through the currency markets. And people who want to protect themselves from the fallout, the nuclear fallout that's going to be happening in these battlefronts. People are withdrawing and finding other ways to protect their finances, protect themselves, and so on. And one thing that's happening that seems to be gaining momentum, I'm just going to write it here. Cryptocurrencies. Okay? So you can Google all that stuff yourself. But the point is, the whole idea about cryptocurrencies is that they operate outside of the federal banking systems for all the major players in the world. In other words, this is a way to, let's say, work with money as opposed to currency in such a way that the money, your money, is not devalued month by month, year by year by the global currency wars that are going to be building up over the next few years to the point of a cataclysmic moment which is going to unfold approximately at this time. I'm not going to say it's like the end of the world or Armageddon or anything like that, but realistically, some of the top astrologers out there, I'm sure, would concur. January 2020 is a major point in global history when it comes to wealth, money, and finance. Not only that, I'm just going to point out another theme that's hinted in the book here, where we're getting very, very deep into the astrology, very deep into the esoterics of it all. And this is the degree to which I want you guys to understand what we're talking about here. Talking about, we'll have seminars or something on this or whatever, but there is a date. Not that I'm an American historian or anything, but this is a very profound date in American history. It's a very defining date. And wouldn't you know, the planet Pluto, which is very deeply connected to finance and power, alongside with Saturn, the big reality check planet, the heavyweight, basically Pluto and Saturn working together in Capricorn, guess what's happening? It's like 1776 revisited. Okay? This is kind of what's going on here in terms of the energy field. Not only 1776 revisited, where the original theme was, oh, we're a bunch of Americans now. We don't need the British. We're over this kind of stuff. We're going to have our own place. Or maybe that was the Wars of Independence. I'm not sure. But it's the whole idea of creating the United States as its own entity with its own constitution. Okay? And it's a very bold, brave, and courageous constitution that many other cultures in the world would envy. Of course, we're not saints over here in the United States, but there are a couple of things that we have in the United States that make us very fortunate in terms of how money works and things that not every country enjoys. Now, the thing is, with 1776 being recycled, it's basically a complete replay of a Pluto cycle. Pluto is about a 240, 250 something year transit. So you do the math, do the reverse engineering. We're going to be facing 1776 again, but in a whole new way. And it's going to be an internal matter where it's like the United States against the United States, and where people are going to start to realize their wealth, their money, and their finance is an optical illusion. And then we're going to have to do something about it. So anyway, this is all going to happen anyway. Whether Tarot Illumination writes a book, whether you read it or not, it doesn't matter. I'm just trying to give you guys a heads up. For your own, your own benefits, your own welfare. I'd like everybody to do really, really well. And maybe you're doing really well, and this sounds like a total bunch of nonsense, but this phenomenon is going to affect all of us, the whole planet, okay? So I'm just trying to give you a heads up. I'm going to figure out how to put the links at the top. There'll probably be a little button over here or something like that, or we'll set a link. But in the most elementary, rudimentary form, if you're interested in this, you want to follow up with this, just go to Amazon.com and you can just put this in the search button. Tarot Illumination, Wealth, Money, Finance, Global Restructuring, January 2020. Any of that stuff. Or just the title, or just the name, whatever it is. And the books will show up. And then you can click for the paperback or for the Kindle. And then enjoy yourself, okay? So I'm doing this particularly on this date because it's very, very profound, because we're dealing with very strong, significant movements of Saturn energy right now. We're coming out of Saturn and Sagittarius as of basically today, yesterday. And now Saturn is in 0 degrees Capricorn, and it's going to be here for 3 years. This is a 3-year transit. And it is during the tail end of this transit, January 2020, where all of this comes into play, okay? And where the subject of cryptocurrencies is going to become a much bigger deal, very disruptive, very, very destabilizing for the whole planet, okay? So we'll figure it out as we go along. We got plenty of time to chat about it. And there we go. I'll leave it at that. Okay, so have fun. It's just a little short promo video. Enjoy yourselves, folks. We'll come back and do some more fun stuff again soon. All right, bye now.